Let's now invite Sundeep Gokhale, employment and labor lawyer and partner at Shepherd LLP. Sundeep, thanks for your time.
Thanks
How
for
are
having
you
me.
viewing the latest reactions that have come in from both sides on the counter proposals that have been exchanged?
Well, there's some gamesmanship on both sides here. You're seeing the union go public with their comments and their public disappointment over the employer's last proposal. And you're seeing the employer saying, you may be disappointed, but give us a response back formally through the collective bargaining process.
But looking at what the union is saying, what do you think of what the offer may contain in the first place? Because the union is saying that Canada Post, the organization, has taken step backwards in the counter proposals.
Well, you heard Jim Gallant's words this morning, or his interview this morning. There was no specifics in terms of what they believed were steps back. There were some general comments about, wage proposals that they're still not happy with. But I think the bone of contention right now for the union is this weekend work piece. And it feels as though that the employer is putting forward several options, but those options include the use of more part-time staff, whereas the union is pushing for full-time staff on the weekends.
Let's talk about these issues a little more to understand what exactly are the demands and what is being offered. Like you pointed out, Sundeep, we understand that there is wages, which is a big one, and weekend delivery, and of course the dispute between part-time and full-time jobs. Whatever is in the public eye at the moment, what do you make of the demands and the offer being made?
Well, they've been pretty silent in terms of the monetary side of things. We know that the union started the monetary proposals at 24% over 4 years, and the employer was at just below 12%. So there's a sizable gap there. But in my experience, those are pretty easy to whittle down to something that is ultimately able to be voted successfully on. The other two issues that we're really seeing is the impact of technological change. The employer is saying, look, we're always looking at technology, things to make us more efficient and effective. And the union wants to know that that's not going to ultimately impact headcount in terms of job security. And then the weekend piece is really a challenge because the Canada Post is saying in order for us to be successful and flexible and to compete with some of the other private suppliers, delivery companies, we need to be able to operate on weekends, and we need to be able to be nimble in terms of the using part-time staff. And the union is saying, no, we can go to weekends, but you should be using more full-time than part-time staff.
Federal mediation, as we understand, Sundeep, was put on hold last week due to the reason that these two sides are far apart. In your understanding of where we are right now, we understand they need to come close for the talks to resume. But for how long can this continue when there are no talks? Because without talks, without dialogue, there is going to be no path forward.
Well, I think the government gave a pretty strong indication that they are really not looking to get involved here. And that may not be something that Canada Post as the employer wants to hear, but it will ultimately force the parties to get back to collective bargaining if the employer in this case is waiting for the federal government to get involved, like we saw in rail and on the ports.
Okay, we leave it at that for tonight. Sundeep Gokhale, employment and labor lawyer and partner at Shepherd LLP. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.